The second storm was Rita, and when Rita came, the waters came up fast and high. I don't think anybody realized what was going to happen at that point. We knew there would be water, but we didn't think it would be that bad.
Picture of my daughter's double wide trailer. And that was my house 2 days after when the water went down.
This is where my home was, right here. Right in here was my home.
Okay, now this is where this house was, right here. And that's what the water did with it. We couldn't save anything. I mean, water this high, what you gonna save? We saved our life.
Katrina done the top, all the top.
Yeah.
And then Rita came and done all the bottom. We never dreamed this would ever go on like this, you know.
I got someone to bring me in a boat, and I thought, well, I could just wade through the water and check out the building and see that everything was okay. So we got to the wharf behind our building where the restaurant is, and at that point, that's when I realized the water was like chest deep. And I looked around, and people's furniture was just all over the levees, and things that you knew they had worked for all their lives were just washed out. And you just wanted to fix it, and you couldn't. So we got back on the boat, and I went home. And I just thought, we'll never get our community back again.
This is like something of biblical proportions, the 1-2 punch. And that Katrina was take the roofs off hurricane. Rita was surge all of the marsh mud into your homes and water and lose everything. Almost everything needs to be cleaned up and put back and either torn down and rebuilt. And the thing that's really gets you on this is that this is one of over 100 little villages and small rural communities throughout the coast of 11 parishes in coastal Louisiana.
This is what's left of my seafood business right here. That's the only thing I had left. That's the only thing we recovered. We didn't qualify for a FEMA trailer because insufficient damage again. And as you can see behind me there, we can't have too much more damage. I mean, you know, it even took the land away.
What you come to realize as you hear one family story after another is that you have to multiply this by hundreds of thousands. Every story is about something that they saved all of their lives. They accumulated, you know, by working for them, earning, and then buying. And then suddenly you see sludge and mud and part of the marshland all in their homes, all the way up to their windows. It's a devastating thing to understand the impact for the families, for the cultures, for the communities, and for the whole state of Louisiana in rural, which, you know, Louisiana was already an extremely poor state before. We were trying to do asset building in the state, and now we see so much of the assets destroyed.
We always left our home, but when we come back, we always had a home. This time we left, nobody had a home.
Not to put the New Orleans down, because they need to rebuild also, but we also need to build our rural areas, because these people need, you know, community also. They need to know that we have businesses down here that employ people and help them in their areas so they don't leave either.
It seems to me, and this is what I noticed immediately after Katrina, was the corporations began to be able to recover very quickly. And after Rita, the corporations were able to recover because they have resources. We need to get our community development corporations to have sufficient resources and stability and sustainability so they can have a presence in communities that's immediate in order to be able to respond and help people respond the way the corporations are able to respond. Because certainly the government, we can see from these two storms, the government, in terms of Rita, they don't even talk about it. The government is not here to help the people.
It's been so rough, and I'm a single person living by myself. I can't haul out the furniture. I can't pull the carpet out, you know, and the smell is awful.
Within 48 hours after Katrina, we knew that there had to be some answers. We knew we had to respond. And then after Rita came and devastated all these rural areas, it was just really clear. So we created the Rural recovery response. A rural recovery fund to put money in that we hoped would come, and some of it has, but not near enough. And a rural recovery task force, which is all the human talent that we need to get back out into the communities. We knew we had to do two things. We had to save every home we could, and we had to start rebuilding Louisiana. And that's what we're doing right now. So we decided we would go in and just listen and look and use our social capital and our intelligence in communities and decide to help people without having them supply all their IRS forms for 3 years, which, by the way, have all been destroyed. And instead, we looked for this spirit of self-help that we wanted to encourage in community, because we're not just repairing houses, we're trying to build rural communities back.
We used to pull them up on there.
That was your lift area? They'd pull them up out of there, out of the water?
Pull them up out of there. This one had an electric motor in it. They had water they got in there. Will I be able to salvage it? I don't know. Everything's up in the air. What I be able to save and what I won't be able to save.
When we reopened after this storm, people actually were thanking us for opening. It just touched my heart, because people would call and they would order something and they would say, "And thank you so much for opening. It's meant so much to us that you have opened up again."
What was interesting is when I met you on the porch, you had this pot of water boiling that you had rigged up with a long cord and a generator probably.
Yes.
And you said, no matter what, I don't care if we have to boil this water and put hot dogs in there for the relief workers, we're going to rebuild this restaurant. It was great determination. Yes. And you did it, didn't you?
We did it. When Southern Mutual came down, they gave us a grant. We were able to buy new tables and chairs. They helped us with our refrigeration. And I think more important than anything, they gave us courage, because we felt that there was people out there who actually cared. We just pride ourselves on the fact that we've been here for so long, and hopefully that, people realize what a service we are to the community. And I personally feel that you need places like the restaurant and other businesses in small rural communities to keep the community going. And it's encouraging. If they come and they see that you have rebuilt and that you are doing well, it encourages them to do the same. They're not going to leave a community that they know is going to prosper again. They're going to stay.
Hurricane Rita has not only devastated rural lives and homes and businesses, but it has been just devastating on agriculture. So one of the things we've had to do was, because there were starving animals that were stranded everywhere, we've gotten tons of feed out to at least 60 farmers in an attempt to try to make sure that they don't lose any more animals.
What I'm doing basically is the money that's coming from Farm Aid through Southern Mutual is being brought for hay, feed, and also grants. And right now we're distributing out feed to the various individuals that were greatly affected. A lot of these people lost their houses. There's a few of them that lost their pastures completely, and some of their pastures are still sitting under salt water. They just appreciate and can use all the help that they could get.
The story of the rural people is one that is extraordinary. We see so much damage out there, and they feel that their story has been forgotten to some extent. They need help. And that's where I think people like Southern Mutual come along. It's a beautiful thing to watch women like the Southern Mutual women get into a community, and they've developed a very comfortable approach, and one that says, we're here to help and we're your partners.
Well, I think our goal is to restore the economies of these rural communities. We will rebuild businesses. We also will rebuild homes. We will work with families to rebuild their communities and to get back into the homes we could save and to build those homes we can. And that's really critical. It really is a challenge, and it takes capital. We have volunteers. We've had over 300 volunteers from all over America who come, and there are many more scheduled for over a year and a half now.
We like to say we're a connector, and so I've been taking that same idea and using it with the volunteers, where I make the introduction and they begin to build a relationship on their own. We like that. We step back and let that bond take place.
People came and they started this. We had hope again, but before we had nothing. Just depending on who's going to help you with this, if anybody's going to help you. Then when Miss Judy and them got there, just like it opened the door.
This is of such a massive scale that it really takes bold national policy to do this. We really need a national disaster recovery bond. We really want to have the capacity to recover as a nation, and we need to do this. You've got to clean it all out, you got to see what's salvageable, and you got to start over.
Right.
And that means loans and grants and work and help.
Right.
One man can do a lot, but maybe not everything.
You can't do it all.
Can't do it all. Well, Southern Mutual Help's Rural Recovery Task Force is going to be here, and they're going to help you.
I'm so glad. I don't know. This is going to be a good day for me.
Okay.
I know the better is coming.
The better is coming.
Yes, ma'am.
The better is coming.